it's the RC Genius, and today I'm going to be going over some of the best upgrades for your Traxxas Stampede monster truck. This is going to be going for all 1/10 scale vehicles. It can go for 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive, whatever it is. This is just going to be geared towards basically the Bigfoot series of Traxxas trucks, the Monster Jam trucks, and the Stampedes and Scully and Craniac. Those are all the same chassis and same parts, just different bodies. So I'm going to be going over some of the different upgrades and options there are between aluminum and stronger plastic. And so I'm going to hope that everyone likes this video. If you do, please like the video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And hopefully you all enjoy this video about what you can do to make your vehicle stronger, better, and more fun to drive in a sense. So let's dig in. So moving aside the blue truck, both of these trucks that were just on the table, they were both upgraded with the same amount of aluminum parts on them and from a variety of different brands. There's Integy, Helion, Traxxas. All those different brands are on these trucks. This truck has been seen in a few of my videos, but I don't think I've ever actually gone through what the upgrades are on it, other than the fact that people have seen it, obviously. Let me flip it over and show you that the underneath is completely lined with aluminum parts. And what I'm going to go through now is kind of show you what are the best upgrades you can get and what I would recommend spending money on, and also kind of my mentality behind the reason for buying those parts. Starting over here, this is one of the most important pieces that I would suggest upgrading to aluminum or RPM, which RPM is another upgrade RC part brand that I would recommend buying from. RPM is plastic, not aluminum, and they are supposedly made out of a stronger plastic. I've never had an RPM product break on me before, and if they do break, you're supposed to be able to send the broken part in, and they will basically send you a new one. That's what I've been told. I've never had to do that yet, so don't take my word for it, but that is what's supposed to happen, and hopefully if a part ever breaks from them, that will work. But this right here is called caster block, and what will happen is if you're driving and you're jumping and you basically come down on the one front end here, and you have a risk of snapping this caster block. Now, it's a very easy part to fix. I do have videos on how to do that here on this channel, but to avoid breaking it, the best thing you can do is upgrade it to a aluminum part, because obviously you don't want to stop driving your vehicle so it never breaks. My suggestion is just to upgrade it to aluminum, and that's all that has to be done. Of course, the aluminum can break, but it's very rare, and I've never had that happen before. I have had screw holes strip out, but I've never actually had a aluminum part snap or break like that where it wasn't fixable. So that's my biggest suggestion to begin with, is to get a caster block, and RPM does make them, and I do use them on 2 of my other trucks. And actually the next piece I'm going to suggest to you to get an upgrade for is this piece right here. And actually I don't have an upgraded one because I don't usually break these parts myself, but I do know a lot of times when people do. I do know some people that have broken them a lot, and I used to break them a lot, but not really that much anymore, just because of my driving style has changed now that I've been in the hobby for 4 years and don't, crash as much. I have more control of the vehicle. But this piece right here is called steering knuckle, and the front axle runs through it, and also the steering linkages hook up to them on both sides. And so I would suggest getting some aluminum ones of those. I do think Traxxas makes them, and I know Integy makes them. Several other companies do. But I would suggest getting some of those because those can break often, especially if you're new in the hobby and once again land on that front wheel first. I would suggest getting that. Now, staying on this front end here, a lot of parts that you can upgrade one thing is this long Camber Link piece. Basically, it's just a solid piece of plastic. But what will happen is if you are jumping your vehicle and you land like this, there's no suspension going in sideways. It's all coming up and down. There's no suspension like this. So if you land like this, you're going to break something almost every time. But if you land like this, that's how it's designed to land. If you land like this, you have a very high possibility that this Camber Link will compress and basically snap in the center. And that could also risk breaking this steering knuckle as well. And this can happen in both the front and the rear on the Camber Link. And you can replace them with stronger plastic. RPM does have some. These are actually just the stock ones because I don't always break them again. I tend to not land on the side like that, but I definitely know of cases where it happens, and it certainly can happen any time. And what will happen is if you get aluminum ones, they won't be these plastic plates that are kind of long. They'll be more, they'll look more like these rods, and they'll be a little thicker. And that's what Traxxas actually makes them. And that's what they'll do is they'll make it in a long rod and make them aluminum Camber Links. So again, another option you can get for your vehicle. Another upgrade for aluminum or plastic is this stub axle carrier. And this piece right here, it's this one right here that connects to the Camber Link. That piece right there can break a lot, and I've actually found that it breaks a lot on the slash. It is actually the same piece that's on the slash. They're both the same part numbers. So if you have a slash that tends to break this, that's a good idea to probably get some aluminum upgrades. I would say that pieces like this and this, the steering knuckle right here, and also this, these are probably ones you want to get aluminum, not stronger plastic. However, this Camber Link, you can get a plastic. It doesn't really matter. And the reason I say that is because you have more of a probability of breaking these ones here, and especially these caster blocks, especially these caster blocks. You have a higher chance of breaking those than you do of these Camber Links. So that's what I would suggest to upgrade first. And then on the bottom, I wouldn't really worry about A-arms that much. I've only ever broken A-arms maybe 2 times in all the years I've been driving RC cars. I've only ever broken them a couple times, really. And they're super easy to replace, obviously, but I did upgrade to aluminum because I wanted something a little stronger anyway. But I really would not worry about these too much at the moment, especially if you're in the beginning stages of your hobby and you're not going too crazy with it. Although if you're in the beginning, maybe you do want to go crazy. I don't know. It depends on how you drive. You kind of have to be the judge of if you think you need this or not. If you've broken it before, I would suggest maybe getting it. That would save you from having to buy more sets of plastic ones and just buy one set of aluminum. Totally up to you. These skid plates here, these are also good to have. I do not have all of the, 2 of my trucks do not have these skid plates in aluminum, and I do need to get them, but I've only ever broken skid plates a few times, but when they break, they're a lot to have to put back together. So, you know, it's kind of one of those precaution things. You can replace it and not, have it to break and put a aluminum one, if you know what I mean. So that is one thing you can do. That is what I did. And shocks, I really wouldn't worry about shocks, especially if you're beginning. You're probably not going to break too many shocks at the beginning. However, you can get just aluminum shock caps. I would suggest that, just getting some aluminum shock caps. These are full aluminum shocks. All my trucks have aluminum shocks now. So they have aluminum shock caps on them. But you can buy them separately, and Traxxas makes them, I know that for sure. And you can definitely just get those and not have a problem, and that's what I would suggest to do. So, kind of an overview of the best parts you should get are stub axle carriers, shock caps, steering knuckles, Camber Links, or caster blocks and Camber Links, and then whatever else you want to get, you can. This is kind of, my setup is kind of based off the things that I've broken the most of. So you can see I don't break many of these. I don't break many of the steering knuckles. So basically, I'm just showing you guys what the options are and what I did. And then whatever you guys want to do, you can totally be the judge of what you break the most of and kind of go from there and see what upgrades you want to spend money on. This is what the blue setup looks like. Pretty much all the same parts, almost all the same brands except for the shocks. And, you know, it still looks really good. Let me show you what RPM looks like. Hang on one second. This is the Monster Energy truck, and this is all RPM A-arms, and they look pretty good too. So RPM, you know, they're great. I like them. Never had a problem with them. These are Proline Shocks, full aluminum shocks. I don't have aluminum caster blocks on this one. I do need to put some on, but I think I'm just going to put some of the RPM ones on. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So there's kind of a spread out of what the things you can get for aluminum are. These are the two trucks that I have the most aluminum parts on, and I definitely will tell you that I do not think it's a waste of time or money to do this, because then if you do this now, you don't have to spend money countless times on repairing the same plastic part, whereas one time you can replace the aluminum. Of course, if the aluminum ends up breaking a long ways away, you do have to pay to fix that. But this is kind of a easy way to upgrade your vehicles, and they look a lot better. They look tougher, and they definitely perform really well. And then you don't have to break in between run times and have to fix it every time. So that's kind of my suggestion of what I would do. I hope everyone found this video helpful, and I hope you all liked it. So thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate everyone's support that has been on this channel. I mean, it's unbelievable how many subscribers I've gotten just in the 1 year I've been on YouTube. Can't believe it, but thank you everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe. I hope you found this video helpful on what aluminum and plastic upgrades you can get, and I will see you all next time on the RC Genius.